here's what I learned. Let me just say it like this. I learned to be afraid of my emotions and like anything big that I was dealing with. And I didn't have someone outside of me saying like, you can't handle this. This is normal. This big emotion has meaning. And like, you can listen to it and talk, it's helping you. So then when you get put on a medication, like you get robbed of learning that. So then when you come off, you have to learn that in reverse. Like, oh boy, now I'm going to have withdrawal effects and my emotions are coming back and maybe some lingering trauma that I didn't work through. And I got to do it all over again. And there's nobody in the world that knows how to do that. So I had to like kind of do it blind.
Welcome to Carrie On, the show where we explore reinvention, self-discovery, and empowerment before, during, and after midlife. I'm your host, Carrie Murray. It's time to keep our head above the chaos and carry on. Trigger warning. The following contains discussion of sexual assault, suicide, and mental health. If you need support, consider contacting a trusted person or the National Sexual Assault Hotline, 1-800-656-HOPE. Today on Carrie On, my guest, Angie Peacock, is a U.S. Army veteran and trauma-informed coach who survived overmedication, psychiatric drug withdrawal, and years of being dismissed before finding her way back to herself. You may know her from the documentary film Medicating Normal. Today, she's here to talk about what happens when healing begins with consent, community, and agency, not compliance. If you've ever heard or been told this is just how it is, this conversation is for you. Welcome, Angie.
Thank you, Carrie.
I first want to say thank you for your service.
Thank you so much.
I don't know if I told you, but I'm a Navy brat. I grew up a Navy brat. And my dad always had the joke that anytime the Army and Marines had the fight, the Navy gave them a ride to where they're
hilarious. I love that. We love the inter-branch comedy.
Yeah, right? I love that. Now, before we begin, I just want to tell everybody how we met was through the Inner Circle with the Pitch Club, and we have Rebecca Caffiero to thank for that. So I'm so glad that I knew when I met you two on that first day, I think it was in Palo Alto, and you had Raider, your service dog, with you. I was like, oh, I got to know her.
Oh,
yeah. And you were just so vulnerable and so honest with everybody. And I was just so, it honestly gave me like, okay, these are real women.
yeah.
It was like, so I just want to tell you right off the start, thank you for being here. Thank you for being vulnerable at that one chance meeting when you never know when you're entering a new room. So welcome. I'm glad to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm on.
So let's start with your story. Let's start with you spent 8 years in the Army.
7
7 years. 7 years. So if I would have asked 9-year-old Angie, you want to be in the Army when you grow up, what would she have said?
Probably not.
What did she want to be?
Oh, good question. I think when I was little, I wanted to be a rider and an equine, like horse person. It didn't turn out that way. But basically, when I was 18, I saw the Army stand at high school, and I was like, I really like adventure. I like meaningful jobs. I don't really like I don't want to go to college and wait tables, because that's kind of how when I got out of high school, that's what I started doing. And my grandparents both served during World War II. So I was like...
So does my grandfather.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always in the back of my mind, like, I think I want to try that and do that. It seems more meaningful than what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm. So. And you took the leap.
I took the leap.
And what was that like? To be like, and telling your family, well, I'm sure they must have been proud with your grandparents who have also are veterans and everything. And you were like, I'm doing it.
I'm out of here. My friends didn't believe me, so I shaved my head. And then they believed
me.
I did. That was kind of crazy. But G.I. Jane had came out that year. So I was like, I'm going to be like her.
Yeah. And she's a badass.
And that's, I kind of like wanted to be like her. So I took off when I was 18 and a half. I served in Germany, Iraq, South Korea, North Carolina, Washington State, and I had training in Texas and South Carolina. So I've been all over the place. And basically, long story short, you ready to jump into it?
Do it.
When I was stationed in South Korea, I was sexually assaulted by a fellow non-commissioned officer that was higher in rank than me. At that time, there was date rape drugs being circulated, so I'm pretty sure I got administered that. It was very traumatic, but I coped with it as best as I could. I had a big group of friends that kind of stood up for me and was like, leave her alone. I did file a report, and they basically said, like, they're going to take you to court and make you look like a party girl. Do you want to do that? And I was like, no, because I didn't do anything wrong. So I kind of dealt with it in my own way, and I re-enlisted for Germany to kind of get out of there.
Uh-huh.
So then when I got to Germany, I threw myself into my job. I got promoted to sergeant. I started leading and like getting really like proficient in my job and doing the best I could. I was definitely a high achiever, a little bit of a perfectionist. And then we got deployed to Iraq right after 9/11. So I was in that first surge when you saw the convoy going on CNN from Iraq to Baghdad. I was in that line of vehicles. And very quickly, I got very sick. And looking back, like this has taken me many years to piece together, but it was definitely environmental stress, the heat, lack of food, lack of water. But then I was also given an anti-malaria drug that kind of like blew my gut bacteria away. And so I was medevaced out of Iraq after 6 months. And then the day after I got home, I was in Germany getting treatment. The day after, my convoy was hit and one of my soldiers was injured. And so he came back on a gurney. And it was that day that I made the worst decision of my life, which is very radical what I'm about to say. But I just could not hold any more trauma in my body. Like, it was overwhelming. And he was telling me his story, and he had just came out of surgery. And I just was like, I have to get help right now. And I walked straight to the psychiatry office. I remember seeing it on the wall. And I was given a medication right away. Not really any therapy, no talking, just like, you have post-traumatic stress. Take this pill. Which robbed me of a natural healing process, which robbed me of normalizing my experience and being sensitive to the trauma that I just faced. And I'm still not over that.
Yeah.
Because it derailed my life for a really long time.
Yeah, and it's compound trauma because you had the trauma in Korea and now you're having it here in Iraq. And instead of listening or giving you a chance to share, they immediately give you medication.
Yeah.
And how quickly after you started that did you feel like, I don't feel like me?
Okay. Within 2 weeks, I started getting worse.
Wow.
But they kept telling me that's your post-traumatic stress forming. Here's another pill. And then in the matter of 2 years, I went from 1 medication to 18.
Wow.
And I completely lost touch with myself. The person you are looking at right now, I was the opposite of this. I had dreadlocks in my hair because I couldn't take care of myself. I barely brushed my teeth. I barely left my house. I was collecting disability payments and literally reading self-help books and going to therapy. And nobody once said, why are you on 18 medications? Could that possibly be why you can't contain your trauma or work through things? And so the system kept seeing me as mentally ill when I was extremely over-medicated and, like I said, robbed of a natural healing process that I could have worked through.
And during these different 18 medications, was anybody supervising?
I mean, they all just sign off on each other's
things.
Yeah, nobody really questioned it. My therapist, therapists are trained not to talk about medication, stay in your lane. But then the doctors were all just kind of signing off on what the other doctor had prescribed.
What gave you the courage to be like, I can't take it anymore? Or was it someone or some event? Or
it was a lot of events that kind of culminated. I did meet a doctor who said, who put you on all this? I'll take you off 10 in a hospital overnight. And so then I hallucinated and was not good. I was there for 45 days. They treated me like an addict, which I was not. Then there was 10 years of tapering off the rest. And then I got to my very last medication. And I remember there was a therapist who basically gave me another diagnosis, now it's generalized anxiety disorder. And by this time, I collected diagnoses, I am post-traumatic stress, major depression, panic disorder with agoraphobia, sleep disorder, endometriosis, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue. And now they're now you have generalized anxiety. And I'm like, what does that even mean?
Right.
That's about as useless as a cup of coffee at this point.
Entrepreneurs, listen up. Are you stuck trying to DIY your website and marketing only to end up frustrated and spinning your wheels? Stacy Beeman of Bee Woman Marketing gets it. She helps passionate business owners like you ditch the overwhelm and go back to your zone of genius. From strategic websites and automated marketing systems to branding, logo design, messaging, and social media strategy, she handles it all. Stacy has supported coaches, consultants, nonprofits, authors, educators, and your girl, Carrie Murray. So stop Googling how to embed a form or set up an email funnel and start growing your business. Visit bewomanmarketing.com and mention Carrie On, and you get 10% off of a strategy session with Stacy.
For women who want more than just a getaway, Two Peacocks Travel offers transformative journeys that blend adventure, connection, and empowerment. Imagine wandering the colorful streets of Morocco with new friends, sharing stories over a meal in Peru, or conquering a new challenge with the encouragement of a supportive travel group. These experiences aren't just about places. They're about people, growth, and creating traditions that extend beyond the trip. It's time to travel with purpose and find your travel bestie and make an unforgettable memories. Join the movement at twopeacockstravel.com.
So I get down to my last medication. I'm extremely suicidal. I checked myself into the psych ward. I said, obviously, I'm more anxious than I've ever been. Just take me off of this. And they obliged. And I asked them, like, what withdrawal could I expect? Because I had the sense that, something might happen. I've been on this medication for like 6 years. And they basically said, you could hear voices and they can say your name, which scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I'm like in the psych ward, like, am I going to hear voices? Right. But I never heard voices. But anyway, so the next 4.5 years, I was brutally fighting for my life. I had suicidal and homicidal thoughts. I had nerve pain in my entire body, burning in my entire body, burning on the bottom of my feet. I would wake up and my arms would be numb. I had head pressure, like I must have had some kind of neuroinflammation where my brain felt like it was trying to come out of my skull. I had intrusive thoughts. I slept 20 minutes to 1 hour for a full year, then 1 to 2 hours, then 3 to 4 hours. Every year, it was more and more. And the scary part was I knew if I tell the doctors, what do you think they're going to do?
They're going to give you more medication, especially if you're not sleeping. Yeah,
I'm really going to die because I can't even handle this. And so, like, what did you do to me? So I was barely here. Okay, like they probably would have issued me like she's in psychosis, honestly. But there was enough of me in there, like I knew like something's wrong. It's from the medication. I got to figure this out. And so I started reading. I could barely even like look at text or listen to anything, but I was like reading. At least I had access to medical journals at my university. So I was like benzodiazepine withdrawal and it was all there.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, so then I would bring this stack of journal articles to the doctor and I'd be like, read it. This is what I'm experiencing.
Yeah.
And he wrote in my record, patient believes she's experiencing benzodiazepine withdrawal and that brings her comfort.
Oh my gosh.
Being delusional.
Yeah.
No.
So
you're delusional.
He's dismissing it.
Yeah. Because he did it. How could you actually sleep at night knowing that you did this to a person?
Right.
So at the 8-month mark, the documentary film found me and then they started recording my healing process. And I would tell them what I was experiencing. I would tell them, I am having homicidal thoughts. This is not like me. I'm terrified. How is this even possible? I won't even like kill a spider in my house. Like I leave the spiders alive.
Right.
And they're like, Angie, it's a side effect. You're going to be okay. We've investigated this. We've talked to all these journalists and researchers, and this is a thing. It can come from psychiatric medication. It's not you. You will recover from this. And
tell us a little bit more about the film, because I know it's now, by the way, everybody, we're going to put it in the show notes and a link to watch the film. So did getting involved with the film kind of give you like, oh, you see me? And were you able to interact with other people experiencing the same thing?
Good question. Looking back, it saved my life. Absolutely. Because I was like, not sure I was going to stay here. And then when they asked me to be in the film, I thought, well, I can't end it because I don't want the end of the film to be like, Angie was a great person, but she ended it, So like, it kept me fighting. And then through the film, there was another veteran that's in the film with me. And the same thing happened to him, but he was at MIT with 2 master's degrees. And they gave him Adderall, Ativan, and Paxil or something. So like an antidepressant, focus and attention for ADHD. And he has a whole life, like his whole brain was ruined. So I got to meet him during the course of the film. I think I was like 14 months off. And they literally had to like fly from New York to pick me up and take me because I couldn't even get on a plane the way I felt, But meeting him like completely helped me because we were like, we're in the same place at the same time. And I was like, this is real.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry,
Yeah. And but you get the validation.
Yeah. Like you could, it's like, I can explain it to you, but like, unless you experienced it, it's not the same.
Yeah, absolutely. It's traumatic. And good for you for not only advocating for yourself, but you found someone who sees you and now being a part of something that's going to spread this message. So It's the best form of almost like revenge on all these people who just
I'm glad you saw that.
medicating you. Yeah. And then in that process, what would you recommend to someone who's nervous to watch the film, who might be like, what if I see myself?
Okay, good question. Because through the course of the film, after it was released in 2020, we did film festivals.
Oh, yeah.
So we did like Santa Barbara, Sedona, some pretty big ones like New York City. We won audience awards. We did all these really cool things. But there's definitely an element of our society that does not want to hear this message. And I want to be very clear. I am not saying all medication is bad or that nobody should take it. I am saying that we all need to be given informed consent about risks and benefits and alternatives. And I don't know if you know this, but 1 in 4 women is medicated right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of them I meet and they say I was put on after birth control or when I, had postpartum depression and they just left me on for 20 years. And why am I still on it? Now I'm menopausal.
Mm-hmm.
And there's reasons people want to come off and they should be supported. So, but we definitely came up against a lot of like pushback, like meds saved my life. And I said the same thing. And then they almost killed me.
Right.
So like things can change. Your age can change. Your reasons for taking medication can change. It could be short period and it helps you. And then, you shouldn't take it for long term. They don't study this long term and they don't study them in combination. And the public does not know that.
And they definitely don't study them in the combination of women who are also veterans and immediately. And in that, I want to kind of like what then you worked on the film, you kind of got a little agency, you're starting to feel a little bit stronger. What led you to realize, oh, this is a bigger problem than just, with everyone in this documentary, but veterans especially who are being treated for PTSD?
We did about 300 film screenings, interviews, appearances, events. And so I did get to work through a lot of this. Like
that helped in your healing.
Yeah, it helped me. It helped me to just talk about it and to talk about it with people that got it. And then to hear audience members say that happened to me too. And that happened to my family. And I don't even know how to trust the medical system after what I've been through, or what my family members been through. So then I just kind of got tired, honestly. I was in the RV traveling around and trying to heal myself at the same time. And I was meeting all these wonderful people and learning safety again, because like you can't learn that in a therapy office. Like I had to go in the world and like work through my trauma and learn that the world is not a dangerous place and learn that nature is healing and learn all these things. And then I was like, okay, I'm kind of tired with the talking about it constantly, but there's so many people that need help. So like, let me help others that are navigating this process, that are drug injured. I don't even know what to call it. Like pharmaceutically injured, which sounds conspiracy theorist, but it's not. It's like, what do you call what just happened to me? So I just started coaching full time. And then it's just, I learned that like people have real problems, but they're not medical. They're not like a lack of Prozac.
Right.
It's not true. And we have been sold that for a very long time. And I would say, this is going to sound radical too, but when you insert a chemical while you're going through a healing process, it's not the same.
It's disruptive.
It's just not the same. And I think some people are starting to come alive to that, like especially the therapy world, even the trauma-informed therapy world. They're like, this person has trauma, like let's work through the trauma. Okay, but now they have a medication in there and you don't know what's trauma and what's their side effects. Like it's hard to know. So I just think we all need choice and we need to be our best advocates and like listen to yourself. Like if this doesn't feel right, ask questions, read the pamphlet. We don't even read the pamphlet anymore. We just think it's like, oh, dizziness, I can handle that. Well, the kind of dizziness I had was like, I was on the Grand Canyon on a tightrope.
Oh, wow.
I can't walk for a year, So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
I love it. And then has your coaching helped you heal a little bit more? Yeah, I'm glad. And who is your ideal person to work with?
Ooh, I have big groups of people. I have people that are just coming to this, like harm reduction. Like I'm getting older, I'm in my 60s, and like I need to mitigate risk of dementia. And my doctor is working with me with coming off, and I just need a little help through that process. Then I have a lot of women that are like in their 30s that are trying to get pregnant, and they're learning about the risks to pregnancy, and they're like, I want to mitigate that risk. I want to get lower. I have veterans like me that are on like 13 medications, which should be criminal. And they're trying to learn how to come off and like learn how to heal in other ways, because the unfortunate part, here's what I learned. Let me just say it like this. I learned to be afraid of my emotions and like anything big that I was dealing with. And I didn't have someone outside of me saying like, you can't handle this. This is normal. This big emotion has meaning, and like you can listen to it and talk, it's helping you. So then when you get put on a medication, like you get robbed of learning that. So then when you come off, you have to learn that in reverse. Like, oh boy, now I'm going to have withdrawal effects and my emotions are coming back and maybe some lingering trauma that I didn't work through. And I got to do it all over again. And there's nobody in the world that knows how to do that. So I had to like kind of do it blind. And I was just extremely traumatized. There was no chance of me going back on meds. Not after I knew what they had the power to do. And I was like, there's no way. First of all, I will probably die. Like I can't, no more chemicals on this brain. So I just kind of help people walk through wherever they are in the process. And honestly, I'm more of a severe case. Like usually it's not as bad as what I just expressed, but I think it was the amount of medication and the length of time,
and the lack of supervision and community, and it almost isolated you.
I mean, I was in my house for 4 years alone. Not many people even checked on me except the film crew. My family did not get it because, I looked normal.
Yeah.
And I sounded normal, but like the inside of my body was not.
Yeah. And when do you think in your journey, are you still on that healing journey right now?
Yeah, I still have. Well, lately it's perimenopause.
Yeah. That's a fun little thing to add into the mix.
There is definitely mental health symptoms to that, but I don't think the drug is going to fix that. I'm not under that delusion anymore. But I definitely have like, lingering stuff. Like I still feel a lot of fear in my body that it's like trauma remnants. And I'm just working with it as best I can. I'm just slow and intentional, and I can't book myself back to back to back. And like my nervous system is definitely different, and I'm just trying to work with it and learn from it and not like force everything and push through, and like it's not worth it.
No, it's not. And then when did the van life begin? I wanted you to talk a little bit about that, because that is to me one of the most courageous things. When I heard that you have the van life, I was like, wow, you and Ray are just going across the country. When did that start in this whole journey?
It started because the film wanted me to fly, and I was like, I can't. Like it's too much stimulation and loud noise. And so I said, if I buy an RV, will you guys support me and like pay a little bit of like the gas money in between screenings and stuff? And they're like, sure. So, but my rent was going up. I finished college with my master's degree. So I was like about 5 years off, all meds. And I still had a significant amount of healing to do. But I was like, I feel kind of traumatized by my town and just like the constant reminder in that house and that bed where I went through all this. Yeah, I got to get out of here. Like I environmental definitely need to change. So I just kind of got in the van. I was terrified. The whole first day I cried. Like I made the worst mistake of my life. I just made myself houseless. I sold all my stuff. What do I have to go back to? Like I'm an orphan. That's how I felt. And then I just like, it helped me like learn self-sufficiency. It helped me build self-esteem back. I was scared of bridges. Like I could barely drive over a bridge. Probably kind of dangerous sometimes because I had visual and dizziness problems left over from the meds and stuff. But like the people I met, I called it road magic because these people would like, they'd just be so nice to me. And I'm like, what do you want from me? And they're like, nothing. We're just going to make you lunch. And I was like, people care about you? Like I didn't know that because I had just been this mental health patient and disabled, and like nobody, they just kind of gave me a paycheck and threw me away. So I was like relearning how to be human again. And then the light from outside like regulated my sleep. And then I would go on walks with my dog and I would try to rebuild my dizziness, like it was brain retraining, but like in the world. And then I'd have to go to the laundromat. I'd have to be forced to go to the grocery store. So like agoraphobia didn't have a place. Like if I want to eat, I have to get food. So like I just kind of made it into my own like brain rehab. And I just stayed out here. COVID happened. I was in LA at the time. We were doing a screening at UCLA. Everything got shut down. And I was like, now what? Like, well, I guess I'm out here and I actually enjoy it. It's been great.
How many years have you been?
7 years on the road, almost as long as the military.
How many, do you have any idea how many miles?
Yes, let me think. 215,000 miles.
Wow.
I've been to the tip of Maine, the tip of Cabo San Lucas, the tip of Texas, the tip of Washington. I've kind of ignored the Southeast. It's a little too busy for me, but I've done pretty much all.
And all weathers, all types of conditions,
I try to stay around 70 degrees.
Oh, you're in the right spot right now then. Don't go to the East Coast.
California always for me. No, I've only done the East Coast a couple times.
Yeah. And you're from Missouri, so
I've only seen snow like twice in 7 years. Like the bus.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So tell me how if somebody who's watching this, particularly a woman who's also a veteran, and they're kind of like, wait a minute, I'm also on 22 types of medications. What advice would you give to anyone watching this that might be feeling that same way that you did?
I would say step one is go talk to a pharmacist immediately and just ask them, can you review my medications? Is there any that are not needed? Pharmacists are trained in deprescribing, not necessarily psych meds so much, but they know the principle. They know what the drugs do in the body. They know more.
The chemistry of it, yeah.
So I would definitely go talk to a pharmacist. Number two, I would probably Google FDA pamphlet and then put the drug name and then go read the full pamphlet so that you are aware of all the risks and benefits. And then I might try to find like a holistic-minded doctor to like kind of help you deprescribe, or I have some free resources on my website they can look at about deprescribing psych meds in particular.
Tell us about those.
There's this is kind of crazy, but because the medical establishment kind of ignores what I've been through, because it sounds kind of crazy. Like, what do you mean? You were diagnosed with a mental illness, you took medication for it, you had to come off the medication, and then the medication hurt you and you can't take medication anymore. That's like very stigmatizing, but it's a thing. And there are, I think we have the numbers for like 200,000 people online right now on Facebook groups trying to get off meds without medical help.
Wow.
And we have, I think there's 60,000 case studies of coming off antidepressants alone on another website where people are doing it on their own in their house, which is kind of crazy. But there's a team of researchers that kind of came behind us and they were doing PET scans and watching how the drug absorbs and how it unabsorbs. And they actually proved that the way the lay people were doing it was correct. So we are actually the experts in deprescribing, not necessarily the doctors. So be careful, because a lot of doctors just think it's like an opiate, like half it, and then you're off in like 8 weeks. That is not appropriate, especially if you've been on it for like more than a couple of months. So you need to get informed on safe deprescribing and safe tapering. For some cases, for an antidepressant, it could take you 2 years to 5 years to taper it. Wow, it's insane. But that's how powerful these chemicals are. They change your mood behavior. They can change it
the other way.
If you come off too quick.
Wow. Thank you so much, Angie. This has been a really informative conversation. Anyone who's watching this, we're going to put Angie's resources in our show notes. But if we're also going to put the number right now of Suicide Hotline Prevention. So please, if you're feeling any of this, reach out to Angie, reach out to this number. You're not alone, right? Any final thoughts? Where are we headed next in van life?
Oh, I'm trying to decide though. I don't know.
Well, let's think. Yeah.
Joshua Tree. I don't know.
Ooh, pretty. Yeah.
I like Joshua Tree's vibe.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think the last thing I'll leave you with is just, I think the mental health industrial complex, because that's what it is, has kind of hijacked our human emotions and made everything to be a disorder. And I think as human beings, we do have distress and emotion, and our bodies are talking to us through our symptoms. And we have to have a relationship with that. Don't be scared of it. And also, I think we need to be there for each other more than, professionalizing everything. Like nowadays, the kids, when they talk to each other, are you suicidal? Okay, call the hotline.
Yeah.
But it's like, but they're telling you they're suicidal. So like, let's take a moment to just listen to each other. Don't be scared of emotion and scary things.
Conversation, community.
Yeah, we need more community, less professionalization of our emotion. This isn't how my RV handle is being human RV, because it's like I had to learn how to be human again,
and reteach yourself. Thank you so much. Tell the people where we can find you and all the places.
My website is angiepeacock.com. And then on TikTok and Instagram, it's Angie Peacock MSW. And then my travel and fun page, and the crazy part of me, is Being Human RV.
I love it. I saw you. I was following you when you were at Burning Man. That looked amazing. It's a really fun Instagram account. You guys,
it's a lot of fun over there.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. And please, if you're watching this, comment below if this helped with a big red heart. We're very excited to see what's next for Angie and her journeys. And I purposely put up this wallpaper for you.
Great.
And as always, everyone who's watching this, just know that you are not alone. You are not in isolation, and keep your head above the chaos and carry on.
The Carrie On podcast is a space for honest conversations, personal stories, and powerful perspectives. While we may discuss health, wellness, finances, relationships, and social issues, the content shared is for informational and storytelling purposes only and should not be considered professional, medical, legal, financial, or therapeutic advice. Some episodes may contain sensitive topics or adult language. Listener discretion is advised. The views expressed by guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or affiliated organizations. We encourage listeners to seek out qualified professionals for guidance tailored to their individual needs.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Carrie On. Be sure to find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And as always, like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. And don't forget to keep your head above the chaos and carry on.